we won't speak quite so long on is Stanford University. This one has become a bit of a famous one for Stanford. It is not just for Stanford, though. I know one of Harvard's optional essay topics that they recommend is also the same thing. And I'm not even sure Stanford was the first, but it's becoming increasingly common. And so I wanted to kind of touch on it, as well as a few of its pitfalls. Virtually all of Stanford's undergraduates live on campus. That's worth noting if you're going to Stanford, and if you don't want to live on campus, maybe Hannah can speak more to that. Write a note to your future roommate that reveals something about you or that will help you, your roommate, and us know you better. The two most important words in that whole prompt are "and us." It seems on its surface, an invitation to write something far more casual than you've been writing before. Write a letter, or not even a letter, write a note to your future roommate, your peer, another 18-year-old that's coming from high school, right? Do not lose track of your audience, though. Your audience is not your future roommate. Your audience is an admissions officer whose responsibility it is to make sure, or to decide whether or not you're someone Stanford wants on campus or not, right? So be careful about what you say. Your admissions officer is not your priest. They are not your therapist. They are not your best friend. Don't confess your soul, right? You also kind of don't want to tell them things that are kind of universally considered to be undesirable. It might not hurt your chances, but you cannot benefit from telling them you're a slob. Your roommate might need to know that, but the admissions office doesn't. I would also say with this, so keeping your kind of audience in mind, but also don't give them reasons to fear, to worry about you or for you, right? You don't want to say anything that you're just going to be like, they're not going to be a helpful, like they're going to be kind of bullying on campus or overly aggressive. Like, how is anyone going to live with them? But also don't make yourself seem like they should be worried for you, right? You don't want to kind of confess things or kind of states of mind. Things I've seen and have kind of counseled against is that, like, if you are someone who struggles with some kind of mental health issue, the admissions office is probably not someone you want to inform of that if you suffer from things like something like depression or, again, anything like that. Your roommate might need to know that just for your own health, but the admissions office doesn't. Keep your audience in mind. Please don't write just to your roommate.
I also think with this, it's important to remember, like, what's the purpose of them asking this question? Admissions officers are trying to understand not just what you've done throughout high school, but the sort of person you are and how you'll interact and communicate with other students on campus.
Yeah, so there are versions of this that are more straightforward about that and that don't hide behind the roommate facade. So one of the kind of supplements for Yale, for example, asks what you would contribute to a residential community or what would you contribute to your suite. That is basically what Stanford is asking. They are just asking it in a format that is an invitation to something more casual, and that you might fall into the trap of actually being too casual and too familiar, maybe the right way to put that, too familiar with admissions offices whose job it is to judge you. So kind of keep that in mind. Their job is to judge you.